Today has been a very mysterious day, let me tell you. That trailer you just saw came from a random Steam page that was opened up today. Now, we all as a Poppy Playtime community have kind of put two and two together that this is the new multiplayer game. And I will show a screen of what the Steam page looks like. Just so you guys can kind of see for yourself. But the tagline has to do with coming home per se. What's the time? We're nearly home, along with you must earn your place in our future home. And that is a very interesting thing to kind of think about, as this is way different than how they did Project Playtime. Now before we get into anything, remember, a lot of this is gonna be speculation because we have no idea what the hell this game is. We don't know if it's going to be an ASIM like Project Playtime or maybe a fun slop game. We have no idea. We just know it's a multiplayer game that is going to be taking place in the game. Well, in the Poppy Playtime universe, which is insane to be thinking about. That we're gonna be able to have a canon Poppy Playtime multiplayer game, which is kind of interesting to me considering the fact that I thought Project Playtime was already canon, but I wonder if they made it not canon because of the fact that they were canceling it. And which I think is kind of insane, that literally very close to, you know, the reveal that they are going to shut down the service for Project Playtime, they reveal this like a week and a half later, which is crazy. And honestly, with everything that we're about to get into, I'm actually really stoked for this game. I'm really hoping that it does end up becoming something really special, because I've been waiting for an indie game company to be able to put out a solid multiplayer experience. And you guys know I like Poppy Playtime. Chapter 4 wasn't my favorite, but and chapter 5 was alright. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over the screenshots that came with the Steam page, that you guys can kind of look at that, and I'm just gonna do kind of a breakdown like my normal ramble, and we're gonna kind of go from there. So let's get straight into the screenshots and kind of talk about what I kind of think they mean and where we are heading with this. So on your screen here, you can clearly see that we are in some sort of environment. This is the first screenshot that I kind of saved and downloaded. So we're gonna kind of go over this and kind of just break everything down the best we can. We'll probably brighten images up and stuff like that, to kind of see what's in the background. In fact, I'm gonna do that right now. Well, while I have a chance. Where is the editing? I forgot how to edit. Oh, there it is. Just probably press the giant red button would help. Adjustment, and we're gonna just turn that all the way up. Um, Turn off exposure, contrast. Okay, maybe not contrast. I don't think contrast is the best course of action. I guess highlights is also not gonna help much. Turn that up. Vignette is also not gonna help. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Okay. So just turn that off. Save options. Just copy. Cancel. Ignore all this. This is gonna be an interesting video. Anyway, so I brighten the image up so we can kind of take a closer look. So this looks like it's in the school, which is very interesting to me. So I wonder if this is just maybe one of the maps, because I'm assuming that since this is a multiplayer game, we're gonna have multiple different maps that we're gonna explore. This definitely looks like part of the schoolhouse. There's this like rope thing here. I wonder if like we can use it to like swing up to a higher area, or we can pull it down and open like a ladder or something for us to get up higher. Because keep in mind, we don't know what the gameplay is going to be like for this game. So, I mean, it could really be anything, to be honest. It's definitely the cafeteria, though. I tried brightening up the image to see if there's anything back there. There might be something back there because I can see this kind of line here, but who knows? All right. There's not much to see. You can see that this is like kind of a decaying wall, I guess. But yeah, there's not much to kind of go over on this picture. But here's another interesting picture. Because I've been noticing when I looked at the image originally, there's this green thing up here, and it also looks like a bunch of conveyor belts. So I wonder if this is like a school map, and we're gonna be exploring a school map. I'm really interested to kind of see what the gameplay is, and we're gonna get into that here at the end of all this, kind of talk about kind of my predictions on what the game will be like. But yeah, this seems to be some sort of decrepit school. Obviously, we are far underground, so this whole hole in the floor thing kind of makes sense in a way. That's just multiple floors underground. Um, Not really much to get out of this. There's that rope again. There's many ropes, which makes me think that this is going to be very important. To These ropes are going to be part of like a mechanic or something going on. Here it looks like we're in a cave. We're definitely in a cave. You can see right there that there's one of the levers that you pull in the main game, from like chapter 4 and 5. I think it was actually in chapter 3 too. I can't remember. Um, some piping over there. Looks like just some very much decaying kind of blocks and stuff from like what we saw up in the main lobby. Um, Again, there's not really much to kind of break down here. There's some light bulbs, so definitely in a very dark area. This could just be a completely separate map, which I think it is. I think this is like probably going to be called like a cave map or something. I don't know. Here, looks like some sort of control room, obviously. Looks like a I don't know what that is, to be honest. It looks like something like goes there that you have to put on for a pressure plate. Um, but yeah, there's a bunch of security monitors. It's definitely gonna be a room that we'll probably go into at some point. Maybe this is also like this is a thought map that we're gonna be exploring. But I do wonder because when you guys watch the trailer, you could clearly see that it was Barry. We know who Barry is at this point in time. So I wonder on if Barry's gonna be a main mechanic, which makes me kind of wonder on if this is gonna be kind of an extraction almost. So maybe like it is gonna be a fun slot game where you have to meet a quota and you have to collect a bunch of different toys and stuff to sell to get more money to move on. I wonder if that's what they're gonna do. Which honestly, Poppy Playtime would be the perfect place to do that because of the fact of how big the factory is. That there's many different levels, there's many different places and locations that they can go. So what they could do is they could have the train, and that train specifically can take you to those different locations, and you have to bring like these toys back. You'll probably have like an inventory system. You'll probably have like 4 inventory slots. You bring those toys back to the train, you put them in, you get a certain amount of money for each, and then you kind of move on. I wonder on if we are also gonna get the grab pack. I'm assuming we're gonna have a grab pack just because it is Poppy Playtime. A grab pack is like the main mechanic of the entire franchise, so it makes sense that we're probably gonna get that. But something interesting to think about. So it'd basically be a lethal company. Oh, and we're at the next screenshot. Okay, hold on. So yeah, I think it's gonna basically it could just be another like lethal company clone, but like with a Poppy Playtime twist, which would be interesting to see because I wouldn't mind having a Poppy Playtime fun swap game. Because right now with the fun swap genre, there's a lot of good games coming out recently that kind of makes me really excited to kind of see where they go. Um, so anywho, now we're in the next screenshot, which is kind of gonna get me into kind of my theories on what this game is about to be called. So it's an elevator. So we might end up using an elevator as well at some point. Maybe we'll be using it as maybe it's not the train and maybe it's an elevator that we use to go to the different locations and stuff like that. But you can clearly see there's nightmare critters or smiling critters inside of this elevator. Now I'm not really sure why there's an elevator and why they're in there, but they're there. Which kind of gets me to my big point here. I think this game is going to be called the Smiling Critter Survivors. Reason I say that is because of the fact that there was a leak of a game that, oh my god, I just had a realization. We're going to be playing as Smiling Critters. Think about it, okay? There were 4 in there, which means it's going to be a 4-player co-op game. Okay? 4 smiling critters. We get to pick whatever smiling critter we get to be. We take the elevator between the different levels to do different tasks. We go back to the elevator and go back down, and we keep going down, completing more and more tasks. Whether it's an extraction where we're getting a bunch of items and selling them anyway, I don't know. But I do think we are going to be playing as a smiling critters, and there won't be a grab pack mechanic because we're going to be playing as these smiling critters. I think that's what this is hinting at, which is actually really fucking interesting. And I'm actually now even more hyped for this game to be able to play as a smiling critter. So instead of being able to play as a different monsters and stuff like Catnap, Huggy Wuggy, whatever, we're gonna now play as these baby smiley critters, which honestly makes sense, right? Because we know that the smiley critters have been surviving in the factory for a long time. So why not make a game out of it? Because that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I genuinely think this is going to be Smiling Critter Survivors. And I do think we are going to get the official trailer for the game on August 26th. Because the Steam page is called Experiment 82626, which is August 26th, 2026, which is exciting. So I'm assuming with the trailer, we're probably going to get some gameplay, or at least a cinematic trailer kind of explaining what the game is going to be about. And we're going to kind of go from there. Is it going to release this year? I do think so. But they're probably going to do it differently this time. I don't think they're going to do this live service thing that they did last time. And this is going to be a paid game that they're going to release for probably like 15, 20 bucks. I think that's what they're going to do. Because honestly, I do think that Project Playtime was worth a lot more money because of the fact that the game was free, but it made sense. The game was not really worth all that money, and they wanted to make all their money off of people buying cosmetics and stuff, which is completely understandable. I'm not going to discount them for that because, wanting people to have a fun, free experience so they don't have to spend their money on the game if they don't want to. But yeah, this is actually going to be a really fun time. I will be covering the trailer once it drops on the 26th of August and kind of do my normal analysis thing. But that's pretty much it for what we got today. It's been a really interesting day, let's say. But that's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.